we were covering the physical feature of Brazil. At the beginning, we have talked about the waterways and the landform. And we have mentioned that the Amazon River is one of the most important waterways in Brazil. Why? Who can explain why the Amazon River is very important and mention some facts and features of the Amazon River?
Miss, it is one of the only fresh water sources for the people in Brazil.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Yes, actually, yes. And who else can add more? Hmm.
Miss, it
Miss, it
contains.
has a great natural resource.
Wait, ya Abdurrahman. Wait.
It also
Ahmed,
contains the most water out of all the rivers in Brazil.
yes. Ha, Abdurrahman, continue. Continue, Abudi.
Yes, it has a great natural resources. It begins high in the Andes of Peru and flows east across northern Brazil to the Atlantic Ocean.
Thank you very much. And it is also considered,
It's the largest river in terms of the amount of fresh water it carries.
thank you very much, Abdurrahman.
And
Okay.
it's the third largest river on earth.
And the second, who can
The third
complete?
largest, no, third longest
And
river on
largest
earth.
second
River.
The second longest.
longest after the Nile River in Africa.
Yes, the second longest river after the Nile River in Africa.
As I already said, it was the second longest. I mean, the third longest.
The third longest or the second? No, it's mentioned in the
Miss,
book.
how about
It's,
the Mississippi River? Is the Mississippi River longer than the Amazon River?
actually, the Mississippi, in comparison with the Amazon River, it moves more than 10 times the water volume of the Mississippi River. But it's mentioned here in the book, it's the world's second longest after the Nile River in Africa. Longest, okay? Let's move back to the Amazon basin. And here I've asked you a very important question about how did the Amazon River carry so much water? How did the Amazon River carries so much water? Mark, is Mark here, guys?
Yes, miss.
Hello, Mark. How did the Amazon River get much fresh water? How?
Um,
Hmm?
one reason the Amazon carries so much water that it has more than 1,000 tributaries.
Thank you very much, Mark. Actually, because it have more than 1,000 tributaries that are smaller rivers feed into the Amazon. Where do the Amazon flow? Ibrahim, where does the Amazon River flow?
Me?
Is there another Ibrahim?
I heard it, Karim.
It's okay. You, Habibi.
The Amazon carries so much water is that has more than 100 it has more than 1,000 tributes. These smaller rivers feed into the Amazon as it flows from the Andes to the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes, from the Andes Mountains to the Atlantic Ocean. Also,
Yes.
we have several tributaries that are more than 1,000 miles long. This area that a river tributaries drain is called, the area where the river tributaries drain is called, Marwa? Marwa? The area where the river tributaries drain is called, Marwa? Zena?
أيوة مس.
The area where the river tributaries drain is called?
The rainforest.
Sorry?
لا sorry basin sorry.
The river basin is the area where the river actually drains or tributaries drains. We said also that much of the Amazon basin is covered by the world's largest Adam Wasson. It is covered by the world's largest
The Amazon.
Adam. It is covered by the world's largest what?
Rainforest.
Rainforest, yes. What's meant by a rainforest, Hassan Hussein?
What makes the rainforest? A rainforest is a warm woodland that receives a great deal of rain.
Thank you very much. The rainforest is a warm woodland that receives a great deal of rain each year. Okay, also we have the definition of canopy. Kareem, tell me the definition of canopy.
Okay. Canopy is a tall evergreen trees that forms like an umbrella covering.
Yes, thank you very much. And we said that Brazil's population mostly live in the Amazon basin because it contains it contains the fresh water, but only Native Americans live in small villages. So most of the Brazilians live in the Amazon basin. Who can tell me about the nature of Brazilians highlands? The Brazilians highlands. Who can tell me? Guys, raise hands. The Brazilians highlands. Sobh, Budi.
South and east of the Amazon basin are the Brazilian highlands. This is mainly a region of rolling hills and areas of high, flat land called plateaus. These highlands are divided into western and eastern parts.
Thank you very much. So also the highlands are divided into eastern and western part as Budi mentioned. Who can tell me compare between the eastern and the western part? Okay, Ibrahim,
Yes.
tell me about the western part of the highlands.
The western part of the highlands.
Yes.
Okay. The western part of the highlands is largely grassland that is partly covered with some shrubs and small cheese. Farming and ranching are major economic activities in this part of the highlands. Further west is Mato Grosso Plateau, a flat, sparsely polluted area of forests and grasslands that extends into Bolívar and Peru.
Okay, so as Ibrahim mentioned, the Western Highlands is largely grasslands. It is covered with shrubs and small trees. We said also it is sparsely populated. It has low mountain ranges and it has something called escarpments, which are steep slopes. Okay, we said also that we can mention that it has here we want to compare between Brasilia and Sao Paulo. Who can compare between Brasilia and Sao Paulo? Adam, Fahla,
Yes, yes.
compare حبيبي between Brasilia and Sao Paulo. Two important cities in Brazil. Start by Brasilia.
Miss, I start with what?
Brasilia. Compare between Brasilia and Sao Paulo. Start with Brasilia.
Brazil's third largest city is Brasilia. It is located in the Brazilian highland, and it was built in the 1950. And it is Brazil's new capital.
Okay.
I say Sao Paulo.
Yes, please.
Sao Paulo has more than 17 million people, and Sao Paulo is the largest city in the southern hemisphere. It is also South America's most important industrial city.
Thank you very much. We said also that further north are grassy trees. Now we can talk about the eastern part of the plateau. Word, please.
Yes, miss.
Complete the rest of the physical features of the eastern part.
Farther south are grassy, treeless plains. And they're called pampas. The grass and fertile soil can make the pampas one of Brazil's most productive ranching and also farming areas.
Okay, thank you very much. Yesterday we stopped at the Atlantic lowlands. Who can read this part and tell me the features of the Atlantic lowlands? Karim?
Brazil has one of the longest strips of coastal plains in South America, wedged between the Brazilian highlands and the Atlantic Ocean. This narrow plains region, called the Atlantic lowlands, is just 125 miles, which equals 201 kilometers. Wide in the north, it becomes even narrower. In the southeast, the rural parts of this region are another important area for farming. Although the coastal lowlands cover only a small part of Brazil's territory, most of the nation's people live here. More than 12 million live in and around Rio de Janeiro, Brazil's second largest city. Rio's beautiful beaches and vibrant lifestyle make it Brazil's culture and tourist center.
So also here we're going to be mentioning Brazil's territory, which is Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro, yes. This is the second largest city of Brazil. So now we can compare between Sao Paulo, Brasilia, and Rio de Janeiro. Okay. Let's move to talk about the climate today. A tropical climate. Okay, who can read this part and tell me what kind of climate do we have? Ibrahim? Ibrahim?
Yes.
Read a tropical climate.
Tropical climate. Most of Brazil is located in the tropics. This is the zone along Earth's equator that lies between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Car- Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Capricorn. Brazil's climate varies. In fact, the huge country has several different climates.
So as you can see that most of Brazil located in the tropics, but actually it has a very varied climate. Okay, we have how many types of climate? We have the wet rainforest, and we have the tropical, wet and dry, and we have the dry and temperate climates. So here we're going to be comparing between the three climate zones. Let's start by reading about the wet rainforests. Word,
Yes, miss.
please
Um,
tell me about it.
uh, the wet rainforest, the area that is along the equator in northern Brazil, has a tropical rain forest climate. In this climate, every day is warm and wet. Daytime temperatures average in the 80s Fahrenheit, which is 27 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. It feels hotter than this because the wet rainforests make the air humid.
Yes. So the area along the equator, which means that it has wet rainforests, has a tropical rain forest climate. And what does it mean, wet rainforest? It means that we have every day it is warm and wet. Daytime will be average temperature, but also because of the rainforest makes the air humid. Okay, it makes the air humid. Who can continue? Hana Naqib, areas along the Amazon, huh?
Areas along the Amazon River have a tropical rainforest climate. They experience winds called monsoons that bring a huge amount of rain, 120 inches to 140 inches, 305 centimeter to 356 centimeter per year. During the monsoon season, flooding swells the Amazon River in some places to more than 100 miles, 161 kilometers wide. These areas also have a dry season when little rain occurs. During the dry season, forest fires are a danger even in a rainforest.
So here, as Hannah mentioned, that along the Amazon River, also we have the tropical rainforest climate. So the experience winds that are called monsoons. Also, it brings a huge amount of rain every year, and during the monsoon suits, floodings can be very predictable, and it swells the Amazon River in some places. Also, we can find that we have dry season, which rain happens, يعني, no, but not all the time. And during the dry season, the forests could have fires. Okay, this is mainly most of the wet and dry rain, wet rain forests. Okay, till now it is understood, guys.
Yes, miss.
Okay, who can read the tropical wet and dry climate? Let me say, Mariam Asawi.
Yes.
Go ahead, read tropical wet and dry climate.
Tropical wet dry climates usually exist along the outer edges of tropical rain forest climates. Most of the northern and central Brazilian highlands has a tropical wet dry climate. This climate has just two seasons, summer which is wet and winter which is dry. Daily average temperature change very little. Summer's average is in daily in the 70 F range, 21 C, and winter in the 60 range, 16. But even this slight difference is enough to change wind patterns, which affect rainfall between 40 inches and 70 inches. 102 centimeters to 178 centimeters of rainfall during the summer months. Winter gets almost no rain.
So if we're talking about a tropical wet and dry climate, we're talking about two different seasons. Wet summer and dry winter, right? So here it actually exists in the edges of a tropical rainforest. The climate, most of the northern and the central Brazilian highlands has tropical wet and dry climate. This climate has two seasons only. Summer is wet, winter is dry, and the temperature changes very little. In summer, it's average during the daytime and it's chilly a little bit in the nights, but in winters, actually it ranges. Even slight difference is enough to change wind pattern. So if there is a slight change in the temperature, it is enough to change the wind patterns, which affect the rainfall. So what I want from this part only to know that the tropical wet and dry climate is varying between two seasons, dry winter, wet summer, and the wind pattern could change the rainfall pattern. Okay, we can continue dry and temperate climate. Dry and temperate climate. Let me see. Karim, go ahead. Dry and temperate climate.
Okay. Northeastern part of the Brazilian highlands has a semi-arid
Semi-arid
climate.
climate.
Semi-arid climate. This region is the hottest and driest part of the country. The daily high temperature during the summer often reaches 100 Fahrenheit. Frequent and severe droughts have caused many of the region's farms to fail. Even so, the desert-like plant life supports some light ranching. Southeastern Brazil, including Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, is located in the temperate zone, the region between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle. It has a temperate climate called humid subtropical. It is same type of climate that the southeastern United States experiences. Temperatures vary according to location and elevation in this part of Brazil. Some are generally warm and humid, and winters are mild Rainfall occurs year-round in the southern parts of this climate zone. Snow can fall.
Okay, so again, if we're talking about the dry climate, you'll find that it is very dry. It's located on the northeastern part of Brazilian highlands. It has semi-arid climate, which means that the region has the hottest and driest part of the country. It is also have a very high temperature during summer, often reaches 100 Fahrenheit, frequent and severe droughts, which is considered a very important or a very severe problem that people can suffer from, which caused because of the region's farms actually fail. So farming cannot be considered as a main economic activity in this area because of droughts. Also, the desert-like plant life supports some life ranching, but it's not very important because people cannot depend on. It varies between the very high temperature and the temperate zone. In the temperate zone, between the tropic Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle, it has temperate climate, which is called humid subtropical. It is the same type of climate that the southeastern United States experiences. Temperatures actually vary according to location and elevation. Summers are generally warm and humid, but winters are mild. The rainfall occurs the year round in the southern parts of this climate zone, and the snow also can fall. So, whatever factors affect the climate in the area would be the elevation and the location. The location, whether it's located next to the equator or far away, also the elevation could affect the temperature. So, guys, this is all for the climate. You're going to be comparing between dry and temperate climates, tropical wet and dry, and wet rainforests. All right? Anyone want to ask a question about this lesson?
No.
Okay, let me tell you something. I will going to be uploading an assignment to the SMS today. It's not about Brazil. It's about the last lesson, life in Central America. Okay, it's a question or two. You're going to be finishing them. You have a deadline on Saturday. That's number one. Number two, inshallah, yes. Number two, I will be uploading the notes for the project, which will start the week after next week for both physical and online students in order to be completed because our project presentations will start directly the week after next week. We have already covered 4 lessons, okay? And we're going to be covering this week the 5th one. And I will take 1 lesson from term 2. So we're going to the term exam with 6 lessons. Do not forget that you have a quiz next week on Wednesday, right?
Miss, the screen is black. It has been black for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I guess there is a problem.
In the table, it's Thursday, not Wednesday.
The updated one, it's on Wednesday, right? Who have the
On
updated
Wednesday.
one?
It will be on which lesson?
Who has the updated quiz organizer?
I do.
Yeah. It says on Thursday or on Wednesday?
No, 1 second, I will check.
Okay, take your time. Anyway, it will cover life in Central America only. So if it's on
This is
Wednesday,
on Thursday.
no, the updated one, not on Thursday.
No, on Saturday.
Yes, the updated one on Thursday.
Wait a minute.
25/3.
Let me check كده. Let me check. Grade 7. Yes, it's you on Thursday. Sorry, grade 8 and 9 on Wednesday. Anyway, so you won't face a problem. It's already, if it's already on Thursday, you will take it online. So there is no problem. It will only cover 1 lesson. You will find it on the weekly plan, okay?
Okay.
Anyone has any questions concerning the project, the quiz, the homework, or the lesson?
No.
Me. I have.
Yes, go
When
ahead.
is the project deadline?
I will upload a note with all the details.
Okay, where can I find this note?
I will make a notification that you will find a project folder to my library in your class folder. Inshallah, when I put it, I will notify you. Don't worry.
Okay, miss, thanks.
You're welcome. Anyone want to ask any question, guys? Okay.
No.
See you next time, inshallah. Bye.
Bye.